Deandre, this team's continues to be in transition, but you're going into a contract year next year. Do you have a feel for what you want your future with the Blazers to be?
Yeah, I just want to show the Blazers I can play throughout the whole season. Last couple of years it's just been a little iffy where, whether it's a season or, little nicks and knacks that's been taking games away from me. So my job is just to show the organization, they can rely on me.
DA, both to what Bill just said about the contract here and also what you were saying about getting to see Donovan get a little bit of obviously going into training camp, that's going to be a battle between you and him about role and starting status and all that kind of stuff with him being a lottery pick and all that. Is that something that what your role is that something you're going to be okay with going forward, whatever it is?
Yeah, that's every year it feels like for me. No matter who's really out there. Just coming to training camp in shape and, it's not like I'm having another coach that I'm not used to. We have Chauncey Billups, who's a very, a communicative coach. He never really leads you blindsided. He always let you know straight ahead or, he just hits it around the head of the nail, just tell you straight up how it is and how it's going to go. That's just it.
On that subject, I can't really think of a situation where like a coach would get like a contract extension, multi-year commitment from the team, and he's still getting booed during introductions. Like, what do you think fans who are booing Chauncey? Like,
fans want to win, so that's just fans. Fans are emotional. We all know that. It's the NBA. Fans say whatever. They still love us. They still come to the games. They boo as much as they want. They still out there. So, it's belief at the end of the day.
What do you think they're missing about Chauncey?
You sure they booing Chauncey? Sometimes I think they booing is just us not winning.
I didn't have a chance to pull him, but yeah.
You gotta pull up some clips. You can't be pulling Chauncey. Chauncey just turned this thing around for me. Being one of the top guys who's really a player's coach. So it's hard to boo a guy like that. We got his back. So
Joe talked today about the bar being raised and the goal, depending on how the offseason goes, to maybe make the playoffs next year. You've been on a championship contender. Do you feel this team is close to being on the verge of being a true playoff team, not just playing, but in the top 8?
Yes. We had these ups and downs with these little injuries in the beginning of the year, and in the first 20 games, it was just trying to figure out things, and it just felt a little mixy, a little messy, and we wasn't consistent with it at all. You got guys like Deni. Deni is a huge help. I think he's like an X factor for us, just being that all-around guy, all-around star, just really defending, rebounding, and pushing the ball and scoring the ball. And you got the rest of the pieces that of Shaedon and, Ant and Scoot. And you got the big fellas down there where, you got Donovan shooting threes, you got rebounds, you got lob threats like me and Rob. It's a lot. It's fun. You can tell Chauncey's having fun, Joe's having fun, and, this is going to be a big offseason, for us to just start the winning and not have a season like this again. Just finishing the 82 game and it's just done after that. It's a bad feeling.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Deandre.
Appreciate y'all.
We got Rob up next.
Rob, I guess we should start by asking you had that knee procedure. How are you feeling physically right now?
Feeling good. Obviously way better than the one last year. But feeling good going day by day. I got 3 weeks under my belt after surgery. Checking off the milestones of just running, stuff like that. Looking forward to getting back on the court the next couple weeks.
So you think you're gonna be good by training camp?
Yeah, for sure.
How tough,
Go ahead.
how tough has this season been for you, especially coming off of last season?
Yeah, it was tough going down. Obviously wanting to fill in a void for DA too. My other teammate went down around the same time. But, you got to use these opportunities just to fix yourself all around. So look at this as a chance, to fix my body all around, stuff that might not get to do during the season. Focus on ankles, hips, anything that might add on to the problem that I had with my knee. And, it's just tough seeing your teammates play having a great time. You know, you're not out there being a part of it. So I tried to text him, talk to him as much as possible, just stay in the loop.
What are your hopes for yourself going into next season, Rob?
Man, injury free. You feel me? That's the hopes for everybody. But yeah, just preparing myself this offseason, man. Play the most games I played in my career. You know, that's my goal, obviously. And keep stacking, keep building. Like I said, focusing on the small things that might lead up to big problems. Like I said, hip-wise, ankle-wise, everything that goes to my knee or anything else I need to fix.
Do you feel like you were ever really able to get into a groove this year, or did it kind of feel like you kind of kept having the carpet pulled out from underneath you?
I feel like I did, I feel like I was slow defensively, you know what I'm saying, the whole year. I feel like the last couple games I played, I kind of just got my groove back a little bit, talking-wise, movement-wise. But, you know, unfortunately, you can't control injuries, so, you know, I just have to roll with the punches.
Does it frustrate you at all?
Yeah, it always does when it happens first, but the rehab part is the drive. It's what keeps you going, you know what I'm saying? Waking up, pushing to get to that goal, seeing yourself check off the check marks, everything you got to do daily, weekly, and get back there.
You watched Donovan from last summer to now. Can you offer an evaluation of what type of growth you've seen from him?
Yeah, man. I mean, he was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Still a kid, but to see him learn and pick up on stuff and not quit, you know, was the biggest thing for me. It's easy to get to this league and realize it's not, all roses and back away from, big stages. But DC growing, man. He growing. He doing a great job too.
Anything else from Rob? All right, Rob,
Thanks, Rob.
You should.
Shaedon first.
Shaedon, what were your thoughts when you heard Chauncey got a contract extension?
I mean, it's pretty early. I seen it pretty early when I woke up, but I was just excited. You know, me and him, built a relationship and kind of have a connection. He's been my coach since I've gotten to the league, so he's taught me a lot, and I'm really excited to just continue the journey with him. But now I was excited.
He's been tough on you at times. Do you appreciate that?
No, yeah, I always like a coach that's tough on me and push me to be the best that I can be. So,
Shaedon, what's your goal this summer as far as something in your game that you want to work on and get better at?
I'd say my three-point shot, just being consistent with it, and I work on like my ball handling and my pick and rolls and stuff. But just all around, just being a basketball player.
You look back on your season, how do you feel how you did, the progress you made? Is there one thing that stands out to you that you appreciated about what you did this season?
Yeah, my whole goal just coming into the season was just trying to stay healthy. I know beginning of the season kind of, messed my shoulder up, but ever since I came back, just being healthy and taking care of my body while also playing at a high level. So I really focused on just taking care of my body and, just trying to help my team in every aspect. So.
Shay, on that note, are you going to have work done on the shoulder?
I don't know. I haven't even talked about it yet. So we'll see.
How much did you enjoy being in the play-in race for as long as you guys were, and do you think this team is ready to take the next step next year and reach the postseason?
Yeah, I think in the offseason, everyone's going to work on what they need to work on. And as a team, I think throughout, this season we built something special here. So, just being able to, compete to try and get in playing was really fun. But I think we have something special for next season and just excited and can't wait.
DA said that he saw you come out of your shell a little more this year. I mean, just where's your kind of confidence level? Just not even about basketball. Just how much have you kind of felt yourself grow?
I'm around these guys, 24/7 feels like. So just being around them has really, I guess, brought me out of my shell a little bit. But just playing every day with these guys and spending time with them is a blessing.
Can you talk more about your connection with Chauncey and how he's helped your player development over the past few seasons?
He's a Hall of Fame coach, so what he might see might be different from what I see. So he can kind of talk me through what he thinks might be the right play or situation. So just being on the sideline, just kind of coaching me through has really helped me a lot. So.
You mentioned Chauncey being tough on you at times. Obviously, he got you midway through the season. Do you think that impacted the trajectory of your season at all? That changed anything for you?
I don't know. Honestly, every day I just try and come in and do what I can do to help this team win. But like I said before, it's always good having a coach, pushing you. So.
Where do you think you made the most growth? Whether it's on the court, in the film room, like when you look back at this season, where do you think you've shown the most growth?
I think just getting my teammates involved and really just playing aggressive and attacking the hoop. I think midway through the season my defense has gotten really better, but really just playing off of pick and rolls and finding my teammates and just finishing at the hoop.
Shaedon, you played way more games this season than last year. Is there a better understanding about the team and what would the expectation of the whole younger organization would be next season?
I think just coming in and playing together and playing the right way. We really try and play the right way and just get everyone involved. So.
few years ago, Shaedon, you said you'd rather go to the dentist than talk to us. So I got to know, is the media above the dentist now, or are we still below the dentist?
And I got a trip waiting on me soon, so I'd rather do the trip than do this interview. I'm sorry, y'all, but yeah.
As the season moved along, it seemed that the communication between you and Deni Avdija improved on the court. How do you see that in both running in the open courts and assists on standing offense from your end? Communication with Deni.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm spending time with these guys 24/7, and Deni is one of the guys on the team, so. Just spending time with him and, talking things out. He's a player that likes to play fast, so, I'm on the fast break with him. Just having that connection has really helped us and is going to continue to grow. So, like I said, I'm really excited for next season.
Thanks, Shaedon.
Thanks, Shaedon.
Jerami, your thoughts on your season? I know it didn't exactly go maybe the way you wanted to, and then you got hurt at the end of the season, but how would you evaluate it?
Personally, definitely a down season. It's been better figuring things out, but the team came together and did what we were supposed to, won a lot more games. So looking forward to figuring it out.
Can you pinpoint why you struggled for part of the season?
Just different team, different offense. So just figuring it out, didn't make the proper adjustments.
You weren't very comfortable for a while?
I wasn't?
You weren't very comfortable for a while, is that?
Yeah, I would say so.
What did you see as your contribution off the court to the bunch of young guys from your experience in the league?
Yeah, just trying to coach them up, do whatever I could to get them in the right positions, make sure they were comfortable, and they definitely grew a lot this year. So,
Jerami, where do you see your role on this team moving forward, given kind of everything is in a little bit of a period of transition now with some of these young guys emerging, especially at the forward spots with Deni and Toumani?
Yeah, I think that's something me and Joe, agent's going to talk about. Don't really know, but open to whatever it is.
Jerami, your thoughts on Chauncey getting extended and just kind of the role he's played in your career the last 4 years?
Definitely happy for him. He deserves it. Obviously, us coming into this season, not really projected to do the things that we did, and him gathering, rallying this team, and had a chance to fight for the play-in is huge. So he definitely deserves it.
Do you think this team is now on the cusp of being a playoff team?
Definitely. I think it's a lot more steps that we got to take. Obviously, we got hot throughout the season in certain periods, but there's a lot more we have to do before we can say we're a playoff team. But I do think we have talent that can move forward in that position. So.
Jerami, you're the elder statesman now, and as you kind of look around, a lot of guys your age are kind of looking at things that make sense for you for the last couple of years. Are you happy being here?
I think it was a lot more difficult when we weren't winning. So looking at where we are now, starting to win or trying to, I like the direction we're headed. So definitely open to whatever it might be. So there's just conversations we're going to have in the offseason.
When you're looking forward, is winning most important? Is it role? Or what's the main thing on your priority list for maybe the back end of your?
It's winning, for sure. I think that's always the goal. You always want to win. Maybe when you're younger, you're trying to establish yourself and do certain things, but definitely past that point, and winning is definitely first and foremost for me.
All right. Further questions, Jerami? All good?
Thanks, man. Thanks, Jerami.
Thanks, Jerami.
Hey, everyone.
So then just, I guess, first off, how do you kind of come away from the season, your general feeling about the way the team performed, the way you performed, and kind of your future with the team going forward?
I think we showed a lot of growth this season, especially starting a little slow, but we had that streak in the middle of the season that showed that we were capable of winning, or capable of being together and win games. The future is super bright. I love playing with this team. We're young, we're exciting, we have a lot of talent. Because we're young, there's a lot of stuff we need to improve and be more disciplined, but in general, I had a blast this season. And I think the future is very bright, and that's it. It was an enjoyable season.
Not till summer league. Hey, Joe. Your thoughts on Chauncey being extended?
Exciting. I texted him this morning. I was like, congratulations, well deserved. And I had a lot of fun to play for Chauncey. He's a competitor. He wants to win. He doesn't give up on no play. He's always trying to win. He's always trying to compete. So I like it about him because I grew up playing like that. So I'm just happy. Our future is bright in terms of talent of players, but also Chauncey's our leader now. Just going forward, he knows everybody. He knows what we need, and we have a stability to improve for next year.
Were you concerned at all about how that might go?
I don't think about stuff that I can't control. I'll be honest with you. The thing that I can do best is just come and play the best I can and give 100%. The things around me that I cannot control, but I'm happy it turned out to be because he gave me the opportunity. He was great for us this season, and we played good. So, yeah.
Deni, what has Chauncey done for you personally as far as empowering you and unlocking kind of some of the stuff that maybe you were more capable of but didn't really get to do in Washington?
He trusted me, and he put me in situations to be successful. He understood my potential. He understood what areas of the game I'm good at, and he put me in the right spots. And when you put somebody in the right spots and you give him belief and you really want him to be good, I can see it. And he did it great this year. I've unlocked a lot of things that I didn't know I had. So I'm excited to even come next season and improve even better. And as a team, I feel like he put us in the right spots.
What's the next step for you? Have you started thinking about what you're going to do this offseason and maybe focus on?
Next steps for me is to become a great two-way player, be more involved on the defensive end. But mostly I know left hand a little bit, just being able to counter better. And that's about it. I don't really think about it that much. I have a very good group around me of coaches that know what I need to improve on, and I trust them, and our development coaches. We're going to sit down and talk about what I need to improve, and we'll make it happen.
You mentioned this season being a blast, but I know the first month here or so it was up and down for you a little bit. Just what would you say to that guy at the beginning of the season?
Well, at the end of the day, I'm a human being, and coming from a whole different team, getting traded here after DC been my home for 4 years, all the new players, it's hard to adjust, especially on the court, but also off the court, building chemistry. They got to know your game, what you like to do on the court. So I feel like it's stuff that it's built with time, and I needed that time to kind of fit in. But once I did, and everybody welcomed me with open hands, kind of didn't look back. So, it happens.
What would you say to that guy during that first month, knowing what you know now?
Just keep playing hard and just don't worry about the future. Everything happens for a reason. I feel like I work hard in the gym, and the hard work pays off in the end of the day. But also control the things I can control. Because me going to the bench, the best thing I could have done, I could have brought my head down and be mad about it or sad about it. But I try to make the most out of my situation, and I grinded. And honestly, as I said, coaches put me in the right position, and the team really welcomed me into a role, and that's about it.
What are some of the things this team must do next season to take the next step and get into the postseason?
I think being able to close games a little better, be more focused in the end of games, we got to be more disciplined. I feel like sometimes on defense, It's kind of hard. I kind of trying to think the whole season, but those are the two most. It's just closing games, be more focused with personnel, learning the players we play against. I think it's a big step of us.
Yeah, you talked about getting a lot more comfortable, whether it's that first month or throughout the season. It's still such a young team. You've kind of taken a little bit of a mantle as a leader. Is that something that you want to do?
Definitely. I think I have a lot of good stuff to give to the guys sometimes. I mean, I just play hard and work hard, and I feel like it's kind of like shown for our young guys as well. But I definitely like to be like an example. In terms of leadership, like I can't tell you right now that like, okay, I'm a leader or whatever. I just feel like it kind of happens naturally. But yeah, I'm one of the old ones. I don't know if I'm one of the old ones. I guess ish. But yeah, I don't think about it right now. Maybe next year we'll see how it paid out.
דני, נראה שעם השיפור שלך והמנהיגות שלקחת והשיפור של הקבוצה, אתה מקבל יותר הכרה ברחבי הליגה, גם בתקשורת וגם אצל שאר הקבוצות. וגם שמעתי שהזכירו אותך כמועמד לשחקן המשתפר. דברים שאתה חושב עליהם, ואתה מרגיש שאתה יותר מוכר, שמתייחסים אליך אחרת? אני
מרגיש שהרבה אנשים מכבדים את המשחק שלי והרבה יותר מחמיאים לי גם על העונה שלי וגם על מה שאני עושה. זה קרה גם לפני פורטלנד, אבל השנה במיוחד אני שומע הרבה מחמאות, וזה חלק מהעניין, אתה יודע, שחקנים מפרגנים לשחקנים. אבל בהחלט יש באז, בהחלט יש דיבור, אתה יודע, זה משהו שקורה עם ההתפתחות ועם היכולת.
שאלה אחרונה, אם אפשר, אתה הולך לשחק עם הנבחרת בקיץ, איך אתה רואה את זה תורם להמשך הקריירה שלך פה כשחקן בליגה?
אני חושב שלייצג את המדינה שלי זה דבר שהוא חשוב מאוד. אני מאוד אוהב לשחק עם הנבחרת, אני חושב שזה יכין אותי לעונה הבאה, גם מבחינת כושר, גם מבחינת מנהיגות. אני מתרגש לשחק עם החברים כבר, וזהו, זה משהו שקשה לי לוותר עליו.
תודה דני, חג שמח.
Bye guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your thoughts on Chauncey?
On the extension? No, I'm very happy about that. I said I told Kevin on the broadcast today, I was like, just the opportunity for him to show what he can do this year. That I was really excited about. Guys being healthy finally, and we have a whole group, and he's able to kind of imprint his philosophies on a lot of the young guys. So I was pretty happy about that. Just seeing how far he's come as a coach.
Did you expect him to be signed, or were you nervous about it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was kind of up in the air, but obviously, having a big of an improvement from last season to this season, I think that helped us out a lot.
Was that something that came, obviously you all know that he's in the final year of his contract and nobody really knows what's going to happen this summer. Was that something that kind of, presented itself during the season that you guys talked about or thought about at all? Or was it
obviously everybody kind of knew. But obviously we didn't know until it became official that, he got the extension. But everybody knew kind of silently that, it was a kind of a quote-unquote contract year for him.
How has this season been for you, Andrew? It started off rough and you rounded more back into what you've known, and then in the season a little dinged up. But when you look back at the season, what do you kind of take from it?
I learned a lot, about the team, about myself individually. Just going through the ebbs and flows of the season. I said that it was one of my, the toughest season I've had, just mentally, just adjusting to everything that's, was being thrown at me. Obviously, like I said, always said we, implemented kind of a new offense. We playing much faster. That means, whoever gets the ball goes. And so, once you've been used to playing like kind of half-court offense your first 6 years in the league. It's kind of hard to adjust because that's how I learned the NBA game was through running sets. You know what I mean? So that was pretty hard for me. But I feel like I figured it out kind of midway through the season, and just trying to figure it out from there. And also, obviously, we got a lot of young guys that are very talented and want to implement themselves on the team and in the league in general. So it's a lot of room for them to become that and show that what they can do. So I feel pretty good about going out of the season. I think I've improved in a lot of areas, and I'm happy that I was able to come out and be successful in it.
Do you like the role that you settled into, and long term, do you think, considering all the other young guys on the team, you have like a clear vision of where you fit with your organization long term?
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be like you're trying to obviously figure it out. But like I always said, I always just try to do my part and show up each and every day. And, whatever decision they make or not, I just, you got to obviously live with it. You can't really have that much control over it. So, like I say, I try to come in each and every day and be professional and try to, play my best each and every night.
Chauncey, coach, this year with 1 year left, with an option year, you have 1 year left. So it sounds like, though, that you're not going to let that burden you at all.
Obviously, you can't. Obviously, you have some control over some things, but, like I said, all you can do is just play your best when you go out there and, let my agent do everything else. Have conversations, but, I would say that's his job. You know what I mean? That's what I pay him for, so.
We all know that losing has been a little burdensome for you, but you guys, nice end of this season. Joe's talking about next year the bar being, depending on how the offseason goes, the playoffs. Do you feel like this team is on the verge of pushing into the playoffs? And not just the play-in, the playoffs.
No, for sure. I think there's a lot to build off this year. We've had a rough couple of years, obviously, and having this big of a improvement from last year. I think at the beginning of the season we probably wouldn't say that, but I think we figured it out halfway through the season after those tough conversations, and we kind of established how we want to play each and every night. And I think that doesn't change going into next year. I think a lot of guys got better this past all season, and I expect them to get even better. Everybody get better this offseason as well. So I hope to see obviously a much more improvement individually, and then obviously we got close this year. So I think it's only right for us to expect us to be in that conversation next year for most of the year.
You're one of the few vets. What does your offseason look like now as you go into another year?
Rest. Rest for maybe a couple weeks, and then kind of gradually build up until obviously when the season starts next year. So that's usually how I approach it.
How much did you think Shaedon grew this year, and how did you feel he handled being taken from the starting lineup? It seemed like he responded pretty well.
Yeah, I think he responded well. I came up here one time and said that this was that type of situation. You find out a lot about yourself when it's quote unquote adversity or things aren't going particularly your way. I think he handled it well, and obviously we just needed Shaedon to be healthy, for a long period of time, and for everybody to see, how talented he is, how good he is, and so I expect next year to be even better coming into next year, and he got a full year of playing underneath his belt, and those times you can really see what you need to get better at and kind of improve from there.
Did any of the young guys kind of jump out to you, their progress from start of the season to end of the season?
I think everybody showed, Shaedon, Donovan. He slowly began to understand how to be effective on both ends of the court as a big in the league. And he was coming on the bench and playing extremely well. So I think all the young guys, even Roops, this past couple of games, he showed us how talented he is and how good he can be. So I think. From everybody, I think you see the improvements and you see how hard they work during the season, even when they might not be playing or might not be playing as well during that time. But I think for most of the part, all of our young guys are hard workers, and they always going to accept coaching and continue to improve their games.
Thanks, Ant.
Appreciate y'all.
You want to talk about the game, right?
In the third quarter,
Can
you
you
made
take us through some of these lineup adjustments that you made?
There's some substitution patterns in the third quarter we didn't agree with.
Dang.
Grew up in this.
Pressing in the
Making you reconsider.
When you take a look at this season, Chauncey, obviously you did the January 19th or post, 2025 calendar flip. When you look back at this season, what are you going to take away from it?
It was again, I don't look at this season and only think about from January on. I think of it in its totality. It was up and down. We had a ways to go, but it's like I'm pretty sure every head coach will sit up there today and say, it was like this. With the exception of probably OKC and Cleveland. So I look at the whole thing, and I really do. I thought we made some incredible strides, and when we were at our best, man, we were really, really humming, man. Now, do I think that we could have been that good all season? Probably not. We're not really quite ready for that part. But going forward, I think it's really, really important for our guys that have known how that feels to play the right way and to be able to beat anybody when you do so at a young age. I thought it was really important. And for us to keep going and keep going and keep going, I thought that was the feeling that our guys had, like the things that we were preaching in terms of the defensive pressure and offensive rebounding and sharing the ball. When they finally started to see, like, oh, that's the remedy. They got greedy, and they fell in love with it. So that's why I thought that's what kind of happened. But I'm really happy with how the year went.
You've talked about your imprint and putting that on the team. Whether you or any other coach in the league, every year is kind of siloed. How do you carry that over from this year into next year and make sure that it's not we have to figure it out again, or how do you get them to remember what this was?
Yeah, I think for the first time since I've been here, that's not something that I'm really going to be concerned with, because I do think that we do have what our culture is now. And so either you play that way or you don't, and you don't really play. So I'm happy to be at that point. You don't have to reestablish that every year, and it shouldn't take you 30, 40 games to get into it. And, we can target people that play that way. So I'm just excited. I don't think it will take us till December. We'll obviously have tough stretches every year, but I think our culture and the way that we want to play is set. I think you only have to do that once. And once you finally get it, you just never know when it's going to happen. But once you finally get it, I think you only have to do that once.
What does this team need to add and or develop to take the next step?
Yeah, I think all of our guys need to get better, me included. We all need to get better and take a step. But I think we were in a lot of games this year, and then, we just didn't have enough shot making. To make it through the game. Our defense was good enough, so I think, our guys working on shots, shot making, over the summer is going to be a big deal, and us targeting those type of players, I think, will be a big deal. That will help us out. Our defensive rebounding, our offensive rebounding was big time, but our defensive rebounding is an area of concern for us. And I think, the other thing that I would say is just our feel. Our feel for the game, our IQ. And a lot of that is continuing to get better just by way of our guys playing in these situations so many times. But that was another area that I thought, we need to be a ton better there.
You talked just now about, everybody kind of needing to get better, and that including you. Now you've got your contract, you got your job security, you're going to be here for the next few years. What's the next thing that you're going to work on as yourself as getting better as a coach? And what's the next thing you need to do with your progression?
Yeah, I think there's a lot, man. There's a lot, to be honest. But I think for me, I need to have us in a better position offensively this year. We need to be much better there. Obviously, the shooting and
the feel and all those things will only help that. But just me, period, need to be better with trying to get some of our better players in better positions a lot of times. And I thought one area that I want us to get better at, and obviously it all starts with me, but just our ball movement really picked up. But in terms of in the half court, our player and body movement wasn't great. And I think we need to be so much better there. So that's one area, that I want to get much better at. And obviously I'll be doing a lot of studying and talking to a lot of people, and, I'll do the work, obviously. So that's one thing that I'll be, God bless you, man, that I'll be concerned with trying to get better at. I think I always love late game situations, and being able to outfox other teams and draw up plays and things. I've really been into that. And we had a lot of situations this year. I thought I did a pretty good job, and then there was some where I was like, dang, I wish I had a do-over there. I would have ran this, or I would have ran it for this guy, or things that every coach would tell you. So I want to get better there too. So there's several things. I think defensively, I want to ramp our defense up more. I want to do more defensively, be a little more crafty, have more tools in the toolbox, if you will. A lot. There's a lot of things that I can point to and say I got to be better at.
Do you anticipate a change in approach with what you do, going from a team of young guys with hopes and projections versus now you have a body of work for a lot of young guys?
Change in approach in terms of what?
Just like maybe do you focus on different things? Is it less development, more about execution, just like stuff like that? Do you think your job changes at all?
No, not really, other than, I talked about, just us, we've been kind of doing arithmetic, if you will. It's time to start teaching algebra, So, yeah, we got to demand more. I got to teach better. Those are the type of things that when you go from here to taking a leap to really being a team that can really compete, you have to take it up a notch, But the development will still be at the core of everything. It's just how quickly our guys can leave home plate, and start taking it up a notch. And I think we're close to being there. I really do.
How do you feel about the guard situation after this season with Ant, Scoot, and Shaedon?
I think all three guys got better. I really did. I would say to you, I thought Scoot took a step this year, and it was up and down a little bit, but I thought it was more up than anything. I'm really excited for him this summer to be able to continue to. I thought he got a lot of confidence in his jump shot this year, and we all have a ton of confidence in it. So that's one thing that I think now he can kind of move on to other things, keep getting that better, but now start working on some other parts of his game. That'll open up a lot of time. So I was happy with his progress. I thought Ant, by and large, for a lot of games, was our best guy out there. We was playing through him. We was closing the games with him. I was proud of him in terms of I thought he competed every single night defensively, every night, and I demanded it from him, because it was an improvement area for him. He wasn't locking guys down, but he was competing. Is all I care about. So his care factor, his care level was high level when it came to that. So I thought Ant had a really good season in terms of all of that. A lot of people are kind of critical of Ant because, I don't know, they want him to do more offensively, but he sees coverages that 90% of the league don't see, a lot of times. And it's probably difficult on him, but I thought he hung in there. He did what he had to do. He had some down games, obviously, like anybody would, but by and large, I thought his attitude, his leadership was good. I've spoken a ton about how happy I am with Shaedon. He had some up and downs too, but mostly up. I thought he took a step this year. I thought defensively he was really good when he's locked in. He was alert. Offensively, when he's aggressive, he's just really tough to guard. I think he figured some things out there. So I've been very happy with all of them. I think they're all getting better.
You had mentioned in your discussion pregame about kind of when you challenged the team and told them that, like, I don't care who you are, if you don't play defense, you're not going to play. Kind of what sparked that, and does that continue on now? Is that something that, like, you kind of feel like you're going to use going forward, or does that kind of change as the team grows older as well?
No, I don't think so. I think when you do that and when you go that route, you don't have to do that many times. You just got to keep standing on it. And what sparked it was we were the worst defensive team in basketball, and I thought that we were much better than that, And I was right. We were much better than that. I mean, we come out of the preseason, which yes, preseason, but every team is playing as hard as they can in the preseason. We come out, got the best defense in basketball, after that little stretch. So you don't go from there to 30. So did I think we would have the best? No, of course not. But I thought that we would really be good defensively, and we had some great moments, obviously. So that's what sparked it, And yeah, nothing's going to change. That's just how we have to play.
All the players we spoke to today were ecstatic about your extension. However, there was some boos during opening intros when your name was said. Just what's your reaction to that?
I don't really have a reaction to that. I'm excited. I'm happy. There's nothing that's going to put a damper on this day. I worked really hard for it, and those guys, as I told them today, in all honesty, like it's a reflection of them believing in me, and believing in what I'm on out there. So we came a long way this year, and there's always going to be some people that are not happy with whatever the job you do or how you speak, how you talk, how you look, whatever it is. I don't really care about that. I really don't. I care about my guys locking in and us doing this together, so that's not a big deal to me.
Chauncey, you talked about developing the offense more, obviously the season Deni had. Where do you kind of see his role in kind of, creating more offense for this team?
Yeah, I want to see Deni just continue to keep getting better, and he does. We all learned so much about Deni this season. We all learned a ton of, about his upside. I started letting him facilitate and kind of initiate the offense a lot of times. Did a good job with that. Obviously, he's a big-time downhill driver. Trying to put him in those positions was always advantageous for our team. So I don't know what Deni's ceiling is, but we're going to find it out, that's for sure. But I'm proud of what he was able to do this season. He was incredible, man. He was incredible.
Does this franchise need to make some key decisions regarding some vets, i.e. Grant, Ayton, in terms of how they fit?
To me, that's a question for Joe. All right, I'm going to coach my guys the best as I can, and I'm going to pour into all of them the best way I can. And whoever I have, I'm going to try to make them better, and I'm going to try to make it work. But that's not my job, though. That's a question for Joe.
In terms of Grant, though, were you surprised at the offseason he had? It seemed to come out of nowhere. He's been so good the first couple of years here.
He's surprised at the offseason?
So having a bad season.
See, I thought that Jerami struggled offensively, mainly because of the differences that we did on offense. Jerami's been a guy over the course of his career that is he's made a living, and his comfort shot is kind of those mid-range shots, and we try to make a concerted effort to minimize those shots all year. So I was really on him the whole time about not taking those shots. Well, that's the shot that he's known, for the last 6 or 7 years. And even though he's a really good three-point shooter, those shots get him comfortable to make the threes. So a lot of his struggles had a lot to do with me and what we were trying to do. But there's one place that I think he didn't struggle at all, and that was on the defensive end. And most people don't look at that. They're just looking at if he's scoring or his numbers are down or this and that. But when we went on that run, I thought some of the most important situations we had there was just being able to put Toumani and Jerami on their best two players. And that gave us all we needed on that end of the floor. So, yeah, his numbers were down from an offensive standpoint. But I thought defensively he had a big-time year. I really did. But, most people don't really really look at that.
Chauncey, when you look at your time here so far, when you've mentioned when it's a very different team than you took over. You took over a veteran team. Have you learned that you like coaching the younger guys more or less than a veteran team? Like what are obviously there's unique challenges with young guys, but is that something that because you could have had opportunities elsewhere if they had not picked you up, is that something you found that you like, is kind of coaching these young guys up?
Yeah, I do like it. I really do. I love to teach, man. I really do. I love to teach, and I think with the knowledge that I have and the experience and what I've done in the sport, I'm able to teach young guys. I'm able to teach veterans. I can teach them all, but I found some incredible beauty in being able to teach them from the ground up, and it's painful sometimes, but and then you see them start coming out of it and starting to blossom, and that's where you just love it, that's one of the things I always felt like I just wanted to kind of give back to these guys, because they make it to a point, all of these dudes, they get drafted, they make it to a point where, I don't know, some of their coaches or family or their people, they get to a point where they can't help them as much, and you just have to really kind of just be their support system. But who's going to help them from there, and the coach should be able to do that. And I think that's one of the advantages that I have is I've pretty much accomplished everything that these guys want to accomplish. And I've done it from different seats on the bench or in the starting lineup. I've done it from everywhere. So I'm able to help them all, and that is what fills my cup up, and that's why I love it.
All right, thank you. We gotta go.
All right. Thank you.
A situation where we were still trying to figure out who we were, what we could do offensively, defensively, how much impact we can have on the court, and how to play with each other. And I feel like this year we were able to make huge steps compared to last year on understanding our role, and being able to share the ball and play with each other in a better and more effective way.
You were like an NBA junkie. You probably knew who Toumani Camara was coming into this season. Now it feels like everyone around the league knows who you are. If you could pick one word just to describe this year for you, what word would you pick and why?
That's a good question. One word to describe the season. I think maturing. I think is the biggest word for me individually, and I think, like I keep saying, as a group, I feel like last year we were just trying to figure out a bunch of things, and this year we actually been able to establish ourselves a little bit more, everybody, and I feel like I grew so much in so many areas, whether it's my shooting, patience, or understanding the game, and not committing as many fouls and small details like that. I feel like that's what kind of separated me this year.
Toumani, I know that were you all surprised by kind of your ascension this year at all? I know you're confident in yourself, but to go from kind of even where you were at last year to, really be considered as a defensive player of the year guy that's a pretty big jump.
Surprised? I wouldn't say I was surprised, but it was not one of my expectations that I had this year. I knew I was going to be able to be whoever I want to be in a certain way of. I believe in my work ethic, and I knew one day I was going to be able to establish myself pretty good in the NBA. Now, how fast it was going to happen and when it was going to happen, it was not something that I ever pictured. It was just try to go day by day, and very grateful of everything been going on for me this year, and I feel like the only way I can do now is keep going up. So we'll see how it goes.
I guess too, like, do you feel even kind of more desire now to keep improving because you've already made such a big jump?
Yeah, for sure, because I still think that I make so many mistakes still as of today, whether it's defensively or offensively, and it's small things that as soon as I make those mistakes, I know exactly what I could do better or I could have done better. So I feel like it's just keep gaining that experience, that time on the floor, and be able to make those mistakes and grow from there. And then, yeah, I think I'll be just fine.
What'd you think of the team's promotion of you for Defensive Player of the Year?
I think it was dope. I didn't expect it to be like that. The media team and everybody with the organization did an amazing job on trying to get my input into things and putting stuff together, whether it's on the media or even the small things that they give to the media for the Defensive Player of the Year, whatever the case may be. I feel like the attention to details and what they were trying to do, they mastered it, and they did a great job at that for sure.
You talked about watching football and watching defensive backs. Do you maybe harbor some kind of fantasy that maybe you could have played football?
Not really. I feel like you got to grow into that space to really want to do this like at a high level, just because the hits and everything is different level. So.
But you appreciate the skill.
Yeah, for sure. Now I feel like if I put all my effort into it, I feel like it's something that I could enjoy too. I mean, I enjoy the way the game is played and stuff like that. I feel like I could watch it a little bit more, but yeah, I was always impressed by how they play defense and how it's always a one-on-one game for DB almost most of the time, if they're in a man or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I thought it was always an impressive sport.
Where do you think you are offensively? Like, what do you look back on and you think you grew the most on, and what do you think is the next step for you on that end?
I think offensively I'm still very raw. I mean, this past 2 years I had to play a different role and it kind of like switched my game and trying to adapt to a lot of new things. So I think it's just a matter of time for me to get comfortable in the situation that I'm in today offensively, and I'm pretty comfortable in that. I mean, the position that coach and everybody put me in, and the respect that I get from my teammates and stuff like that helped me to be more confident in my offense every day.
What was your reaction to the news today about Chauncey getting a new deal?
I was very excited for him, man. It's very excited for us. It's been working for us. His attention to details and how much he helped us make mistakes and let us learn through that. And he has a lot of faith and respect for all of us for what we're doing, especially because he was a player and he's done it before. So he really understands what scenario we're in. And I'm very, very excited about this.
Were you relieved at all?
Relieved.
I know you guys are professionals and things change. We all know that in sports. But you guys, like everyone has talked about how much you guys have grown this season under what he's teaching you. And if he were gone, you had to start over with another coach. That could be kind of burdensome.
For sure. I think it's not something that I was thinking about it a lot, just because I mean, in the season you have so much things that you think about. But I'm just super excited for him, and for us as a whole organization, what he's able to do with us, and yeah, man, I'm just happy to have him back for sure.
Where do you think you've grown the most outside of the skill work, like the soft skills, whether it be leadership or film watching or any of those things?
You talk about within those things?
Well, anything that you think, like any of the soft skills stuff.
Yeah, I would say my leadership got way better. Being able to feel comfortable talking to players, let them know my peace of mind, and if there's things that's going right or going wrong, being able to be vocal throughout any type of game. Whether I'm having a good game or a bad game, and just try to be consistent vocally, and then keep on trying to lead the team.
All right, thank you all.
Appreciate it.
TC had to miss a lot of time, but you, over the last couple of weeks, have looked probably the freest, at least I've ever seen you play. Is that the same way you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I missed a lot of game time, but had a lot of time to be in the gym. And over the various stages of the injury, it was just trying to maximize the opportunity to just get better. So the development staff did an amazing job of just creating opportunities for me at each level to like push where I'd been previously. And I feel like it kind of showed with the 15 games I came back, just being more confident with the ball, dribbling, shooting, being a little bit more solid on defense, but just overall feeling like a better player. And like huge testament to the development staff and like their willingness to just pour into me even when I couldn't jump, couldn't run, but still finding ways for me to get better.
Chauncey said that the way they planned to play, he came into the season expecting you to have a big year. And then, of course, the injuries happened. And then, of course, like Deni just said, you thrived the last few weeks here. Does that make you pretty excited to carry all that into next year and really expand your game and your role? And you do have an option, I think, on your contracts, but are you looking forward to having a full season doing what you do with this group?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I told most of the coaches in the locker room. It was just like, I can't wait to get a full season under our belts. Because this whole year, especially as like we forged our identity as being a defensive team, like I was just chomping at the bit. Like me and Roy are talking about how fun it would be to have me out there as well. Like imagining the lineups that we could throw together. So yeah, absolutely. Chauncey getting his extension is really exciting and definitely makes me optimistic for running it back with these guys. So.
Right before you came back from the injury, you said you weren't quite sure how you'd fit in with the group. Now that you had the 15 games, how did you see that play out?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't feel like we got a good look at our whole squad and how I fit into that. But as far as the guys who were available and how I was able to play with them, it felt great. And it was like pretty seamless. Not super surprised. I feel like I've always just been that kind of player who can like get in where he fits in. And I think just for me trying to elevate that and being able to do that a little bit this season was a good feeling.
From your vantage point, as someone with the team all the time but not necessarily playing until recently, like what happened between the start of the season and now that turned some of the more recent results around?
I think in any team you have you try to forge this identity of who you want to be, and for us for a long time it only existed conceptually. Like this is who we want to be, this is who we claim we are. But over the course of the season we were able to do it and improve it to ourselves, and I felt that just compounded on itself, and like it just built this momentum that became like this really beautiful thing. And then now it becomes clearer for guys like where they fit in, how they show up, and instead of having to get guys to play a certain way, it became this is just how we play. And if you step on the court, this is how you're going to do it.
More of defensive qualities and mindset in this team compared to other teams and rosters you play with?
Did you say that again?
Do you feel like there's more of a defensive mindset and qualities in this group compared to other teams and rosters that you play with?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even feel like we got to really explore the extent of like our defensive lineups and what we could really do. Yeah, I mean, defensive mindset, like it's a defensive identity. And it became like this very contagious thing. And honestly, I think Toumani played a big role in that. Like when you can see someone have that much success and that much impact, it just becomes contagious. And everyone started to pick up on it, and it became, like I said, our identity.
Do you still have levels that you want to get to as a player and things you want to keep adding to your game?
Yeah, and I feel like over this year I felt more connected to the path of getting there than I ever have. And honestly, that just says a lot to our coaching staff and the development staff of just making me feel like there's a way to get better. Obviously, like we can all sit here and look at the numbers and be like, oh, you could be better at this, this, and that. But how do you get better? And like that's something that really sets coaches and development coaches apart, is how do you make a good player better? How do you introduce young players to the league and get them to fit into your offense? And yeah, they've done an amazing job with me, the young guys, and you look at players like Deni. Like I don't think I've seen a player get that much better over one season in my career, and just continuing to see like examples of that. Toumani last year to this year, myself in 15 games. So just, yeah, I think we're all super confident. We trust the coaching staff, development staff, and just continuing to feel connected to the process and that it works.
Have you recognized Chauncey's growth as a coach? Have you seen sort of how he's evolved?
Absolutely. I think the coolest thing for me is seeing how much more hands-on he's become, because when you have, like, all these coaches are here for a reason. They're brilliant and they've proved it over time. It's another thing to have a coach who is brilliant and has proved it, but also has done it as a player. So to have the coaches go over the play, but then have Chauncey grab the ball and then show you how it's supposed to be done, it just takes things to another level. And he does it on both ends, offensively and defensively. And his willingness to just continue to do that day in and day out and just grab an individual, like a specific moment, and make sure that it's what he wants it to be. And that creates this like level of accountability where it's like, okay, well, this, I don't know how old Chauncey is at this point. This guy can come in here and do it. Like, we have no excuse. So, yeah.
It's all fun and games till he pops something, right?
Right.
A couple of the times you just hear it, you've said the young guys. You're not that old yourself, but do you find yourself kind of sliding into a leadership role? Because I've talked to these guys throughout the season. A lot of the young guys have mentioned coming to you, and despite you not being older, you're willing to impart on them, where some guys around the league see that as a threat. Is that a space that you think you've grown in?
For sure. It was uncomfortable, but I mean, I couldn't play. So at some point I had to figure out how am I going to stay engaged, and then how am I going to create an impact? And also learning just like for myself, like what are the things that I value being a part of this game? And a huge part of it is like community and feeling like you're a part of something important. And my way of creating that for myself was to pour into some of the younger players. And just seeing so many of them have similar struggles as me, and honestly, a lot of them just fitting a similar archetype of just being like a next action defensive type of player, and trusting that I've seen enough of this to be able to impart something of value for them. And yeah, just trying to take advantage of those opportunities. And I mean, also to speak to like these guys, like we have a group where there's just no ego. And it's like the willingness to receive feedback is honestly a huge thing, because you got players who've seen a lot, they know a lot, but if the person you're talking to doesn't want to hear it, like there's no value to be exchanged. So these guys are extremely receptive, and they all want to get better, and they're all willing to learn and listen. So, yeah. Cool. Yep. Thank you, guys.
Saw that putt?
It's a tough putt.
I thought they were going to make the rookie go last.
Almost last.
What will your game look like in 4 months when camp starts?
I feel like my big focus is going into summer. Really just getting light on my feet, moving my feet faster, laterally, being able to move quicker in the ball screen game. I want to work on my touch around the rim, being able to catch that ball in the pocket and, make moves and get to the rim and score efficiently. Really knock down the three ball at a high level. Make sure my shot's consistent and, having the same shot every time, and, really, being physical and getting stronger. And, I just want to, everything I've been doing, these past, 2 months, the second half of the season, really just trying to take everything and just take it to the next level.
Do you know if you're going to play Summer League?
I'm not sure yet. Really, still talking about it, and we're still figuring that out.
Do you want to?
I love basketball, so I want to play whenever I can.
What was the biggest challenge for you in your first season, and how do you think you dealt with it?
I feel like, in the middle of the season, I let, I was trying to think of the best way to say it. I mean, I had a great start. I feel like, I was late, and, I put it on myself that, I wasn't in shape in the middle of the season after I got hurt. And, I feel like that's when, things were going downhill and, I was out of shape. And after that, really locked in. And second half of the season was, all uphill and, really just took time and focused on my body and everything I needed to do to, make sure I was getting, being able to play 30 minutes a night. And, I was able to do that.
Now that you've gone through it for a whole year, would you say the jump from college to the NBA is harder than you thought it was going to be or about what you expected?
I feel like harder. I mean, you definitely don't practice as much as you do in college, but, you're playing games every single night and, it's a lot up and down. And, that jump, mentally is, I feel like, the biggest thing.
One of the things DA said was that even though he got injured, he really enjoyed watching how you played out there. Just what does it mean to hear something like that from him? He's in your position group. He could easily have not. He wasn't even asked about you. He was just asked about being injured and if it was a bummer. And he said he really liked watching you.
Yeah, I mean, DA is one of a kind. I couldn't be grateful for someone to look up. No one better to look up to. DA is, he's always got great energy, and he's always showing me support, giving me tips. If I'm not playing the way I should be, he'll let me know. But if I'm playing well and doing what I have to do, and he's gonna be my biggest supporter. And I really appreciate that, and he's someone I look up to.
DC, with the year under your belt now, when you go into the summer, what do you look at and go, these are the pillars I kind of need to focus on?
Just getting quicker, knocking down the three ball, working on my touch, and really just working on the defense, protecting the rim, and working in that ball screen game.
What was your reaction to the news about Chauncey's new deal?
I was really excited. I feel like Chauncey has put a lot of time and a lot of work into get this organization to where it is, and how this team is finished off playing, and I love playing for him, and I'm really excited to for the future and to see what the next couple of years bring.
You won some national titles at college, and I assume those teams had really good team chemistry. Do you see this team developing in that direction?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like this locker room is a lot of fun. I feel like there's no guy that's left out or is not included in. Everyone is best friends. Everyone's having fun together. Pregame in the hallway and in the locker room. In the weight room, everything. All these guys connect. We all get along together, and it's a special group.
Winning at historic rates in college to having to then, lose some games early on and then turn it around. Like, what was that like for you?
I feel like, when I got drafted here, I knew that it was an organization that was, developing and was going to take time to develop. And, I just wanted to be a part of, something special. And, I know it's going to take time. And, obviously, I love to win and I'm, a big competitor. But, I'm going to go out there every night and give everything I have. And, I know it's going to take time to develop and get to where we want to be. But, I definitely see it.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Let's do to the last one.
Hello. It's good.
Unfortunately, you can't finish up the season with a concussion, but when you take a look at this season, how different was this year for you from year one?
Excuse me. I say this year, I guess the game kind of slowed down. Things like that only come from playing and experiencing, the NBA in general. But just playing games, playing ball at this level, I think it just slowed down, and I think I had more fun.
Is there anything specific this summer that you're looking at and saying, I need to get better at this, I need to work on this summer?
Like I always say, everything. I try to touch every aspect of the game in the summer, but I think more specifically, I say just more consistency in my technique, on my shots, where I know I'm going to get my shots from, how to create off the bounce, finishing, left hands, but off the 1-2, not off too high, all different angles on the backboard, left and right, floater, touch, continue to learn how to move my body as one and to not bend over while I'm running, but like I said, move my body as one and move kind of like my body into space. Things like that. I don't know. That kind of don't make sense for y'all, but yeah, I just think about it.
What's the greatest answer to that question ever, by the
way? What's the thing that you enjoyed the most in your second year of career?
Oh my goodness, the 10 game. That was fun. I kind of seen a little bit of who we are, kind of got our swag there. And when we get our swag like that, it's tough to stop. It's tough to stop. Fun to watch, over the film and things like that. Just fun to watch the games and like I said, I always say, we harp on our defense. And when we play defense like that during that stretch, and throughout most of the year, really, I think we were a really solid defensive team, and that was just fun to be a part of.
You zeroed in just there on a lot of technical things with your game. Do you think that's what maybe led to some of your turnarounds, focusing in on granular details, or was it something bigger?
No, it was exactly that. Just because obviously, everybody comes in the league with a skill, with the main skill sets, I guess, but the greats only, kind of unique in their own way and how they move, how they go on about it, how they, break down their films and things like that. So I think, when you're at a high level like this, you have to kind of be more specific and kind of what your role is and how you could be great in that role and be great as a player.
Your reaction to Chauncey's contract extension today?
Man, congratulations, man. It was cool to see that. He got extended. I told him, dapped him up when I seen him and while I was going to the weight room to get on that bike and things like that. But man, just happy for him.
Obviously, professional athletes adjust to coaching changes all the time, but how important is it to your development to maintain that relationship with the head coach and not have to have a change there?
I thought about that and I was like, dang, that's probably 1 in a million. It probably doesn't happen too often to where a player like me
happens to run into a player like Chauncey was, and the person that he is, and the coach that he is. Just being able to kind of like pick his brain sometimes and things like that, but to also not have to like adjust to somebody different, a whole new personality, a whole new type of realm, kind of thing they're on. But I think just continuing to have Chauncey around is going to be huge for our relationship, person to person.
Yeah, you started out a little slowly, then you had that crazy hot stretch where you were killing it. A little dip there at the end. Was there a reason for that in your estimation? Were it just off stretch or?
Probably just an off stretch. I think I wasn't being as aggressive as I was. Kind of went to more like I said, less aggressive. I think that's my whole thing. The more aggressive I am, the better I play on both sides of the ball. The more aggressive I am on defense. The basketball guys always kind of help you out there as long as you're playing the game right.
And how hungry are you, and how hungry do you think the team is to try and close this thing next year in the postseason?
I think we're really hungry. Dogs got to eat, so I think coming to next year, I think everybody's just going to focus and lock in. And, I think that's all we really needed to see the team that we could be, with this group specifically, to see the team that we could be, and we've seen that. And like I said, harp on our defense, things like that, but just get that swag back.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.